Hey y'all, this is Alex from Eastside Music, and I'm here with our guitar teacher Jamey Cummins today. And we thought we'd just do a quick lesson on rhythm changes, pretty popular jazz form. So I'll let Jamey kind of lead here and talk about what he likes to do over it, and then we'll do a little bit of playing and take it from there.
Sounds good. So B flat might be a good key.
Okay.
And I'm using a lot of these 3-note voicings that are kind of more of a Django or Freddie Green style of playing, more kind of classic. And so in B flat, I like to use a B flat major 6 voicing here.
Sure.
I'm playing the root, the 6th, and the 3rd. And what I like about these voicings is you can get these really kind of cool closed voicings and real tight sound out of them, and not a lot. You're not going to get it in anyone's way.
Not
piano
clashing
player.
with the other player, yeah. Less is more.
Yes. So cool, we'll use that for the 1, and then for the 6, we'll just come up a half step and do a diminished chord. And this works as a substitute for a G7. It's like, you know, you have your 3rd and flat 9 there, I suppose, yeah. And then a 5th, yeah.
And that would be instead of a minor or actually a dominant 6.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And you have that nice chromatic bass movement. And then C minor, just with the 3 notes, sounds nice. Root 7 3rd, and then F. But one thing that's kind of cool to do is instead of playing your 5 there, even, is to keep going chromatically.
Okay.
And I'll get another diminished chord at the 9th fret.
Sure.
And that's going to lead me up to
The 3.
Yeah.
Which is a sub for the 1.
Yeah, for sure. And you have D in the bass. So you get this. And back down.
Beautiful.
And finally, after the 2, you hit your 5 chord.
Got it.
But I'm always keeping a note on the low E a lot.
Okay, yeah, I see that. So instead of putting them in root position necessarily, it's just going to keep a note on the low E, which could make it an inversion.
For
like
sure.
An F
Yeah.
over C.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm not even playing an F on that chord. Just let the bass player deal
Sure.
with that. I do think it's probably helpful if the bass player is following that chromatic movement.
Right.
To kind of really.
So this progression maybe wouldn't be something you do every time on a 1-6-2-5,
Yeah.
but it would be a cool.
It's a cool way to do it.
To get through it. The traditional 1-6-2-5, diatonically speaking, would be like a B flat major.
Yeah.
Then the 6 would be a G minor.
Yeah.
And the C would be a 2.
Yeah.
C minor. And then the F could be.
For
a
sure.
7.
Yeah.
And then from there you could put some dominant chords in there. So
Yeah.
1, 6.
Yep.
This could also be dominant if you wanted. And so that's kind of cool to think about. You start there, and then through a series of substitutions, you end up with a pretty unique.
Yeah, a little more bounce to it. I think it gives you a lot of control over the dynamics of it when you're just doing these smaller 3-note voicings. And like you said, when you're using those diatonic versions, it almost kind of sounds like 1950s pop music.
Sure,
sometimes, you know. But the instant you start making some of them dominant and some of them diminished, then it starts to sound pretty jazzy. I
And
think.
it gives the improviser more stuff to chew on.
Yes, for sure.
Because with a substitute chord, then you get to use arpeggios and altered scales and all this stuff that
Absolutely.
that makes it sound like bebop or
Definitely.
swing music.
Yeah. Cool. So and just to briefly talk about that form of rhythm changes,
Sure.
kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's taken from that song "I've Got Rhythm," and so it's probably not the first song to use those changes, but it does that 1-6-2-5, 1-6-2-5, and then on the bridge, it's going to do dominant chords, and it does it from the 3 of the key. So if we're in B flat, we're going to start on a D7, and I like to just use these 3 notes.
Same 3-note idea.
Yeah, and then G, but sometimes if you're on one chord for a while, it is nice to kind of do these little movements. So I might go like on the D7, then I might, when I go to G, I like doing that. And you know, maybe walk a bit from the F, or I'll go come out to this, something like that.
Sure.
To take me back to the 1 there. But
which is just kind of harmonizing a scale, but putting in some passing chords in there.
Yeah,
as well.
For sure.
Just so like for the G, you're getting from a root position to an inversion of the G by
way of A minor and B flat diminished. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Cool.
So yeah, you want to just jam through that section a little bit. Maybe I'll start on the chords and you solo a bit, and then we'll switch it off. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
Let me ask you real quick
Yeah.
how you get into the bridge, right? So the form we have a 1 6 2 5 1 6 2 5.
Yes,
and then where do you go from
so
there?
from there, I typically, and it can vary from song to song. There's always slight variations on rhythm changes I found, but typically I think it's 1 to 1 7, and then 4 to either 4 minor or sharp 4.
Right, and that's probably something to just work out with the band
For sure,
because they sound a little different.
They do, yeah, they do, definitely, yeah.
Right.
And I found that the sharp 4 diminished is probably more common.
Okay.
It seems like. And then from there, I'll do one more of the 1 6 2 5 thing. So I might go, where I started on the with the third and the bass, kind of walking around. And then I'm on that bridge of D7, G7,
which is kind of a circle of fourths, right? D, G, C, F.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Beautiful. So that's kind of cool. Let's play it again.
Yeah.
I'll play the chords and you take a solo.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. A 1 2 a 1 2 a 3 4.
But as you'll find, there are so many variations of these changes and with slight substitutions here and there. Sometimes they'll change the bridge. They won't do those circle of fourths. They'll go to a minor chord or something like that. But if you're playing this music, you're going to encounter it a lot.
Right. Sure. And some of this stuff just kind of happens on the bandstand, but some of it maybe you work out with your band ahead of time.
Yeah.
Pretty particular or unique set of changes. Cool, man. So let's just talk a little bit about what you like to play over in terms of an improvisation.
Yeah.
What are like your go-to scales or arpeggios, or where do you start?
Yeah, I stay a lot in B flat mixolydian or with a lot of chromatic movement. Some people call it the bebop scale, I suppose, where they basically take a major scale and then they walk chromatically.
Got it. So you get the major seventh, the flat seventh.
Yeah, all that stuff in there. But I don't think those guys that were playing bebop ever called it that or anything. It just, those notes happen to, you have a lot of room to experiment with those notes. But yeah, there's so many things you can do. You can, because there's so many songs written with these changes, you can quote a lot of stuff.
Right.
And that's a really helpful thing. You've got stuff like, what is it? What is that? Oleo? That, Meet the Flintstones, that's written in that key.
It's amazing how many songs actually follow the rhythm changes.
For sure, yeah. So I would say learn a bunch of melodies that already work over those.
Right.
And slight embellishments of those are going to create cool ideas.
So that's great advice, and something that I could definitely gain from is just actually learning melodies, finding other heads or the melodies to tunes and kind of internalizing them. Great, man. What about do you use like arpeggios to kind of dial in on some of these chords?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially when I want to emphasize the changing of a third or a seventh of it. Like, we have that 1 to 1 7, 4 to sharp 4 diminished. I might do something where I, do like a major arpeggio, like, or whatever.
Nice.
I want to, but that goes by pretty quick. So maybe I don't do the full 2 octaves
just a
of
little
that.
fragment of it.
Or whatever. I might do a quick arpeggio and then play that note that's being altered in that note. So if I'm playing, just a B flat triad. Yeah, it's
That's
kind of a
great.
Simple idea.
Going to the...
Yeah, adding the...
It's a flat 9.
Yep.
You could kind of start quoting
Absolutely, yeah. You can have a lot of cool sequenced ideas there.
Neat, man.
And I think arpeggios are great for that. Go up one and down the other, and
Sure.
you add a little bit of chromaticism in with your arpeggios, and it's going to start to sound really interesting.
I love it. Why don't we just play a little bit more?
Yeah,
See if we can get some of
good.
this stuff into it. So,
Cool.
You take a solo and I'll play the chords. And why don't you play a whole form through, and then I'll maybe play a form.
All right, sounds good.
A 1, 2, a 1, 2, a 3, 4. I got some work to do there, but
oh yeah, me too. There's always that's the great thing about rhythm changes. There's so much you can do with it, and it's one of the best ways to practice your. If you can solo well over rhythm changes, you're probably going to do fine
make
on
it
most
work.
tunes. Yeah,
Lots of other songs. Great, man. Well, that's just kind of a brief overview of rhythm changes. You can probably find the changes online, or maybe we'll even post them to the website. And if you have any more questions, give us a call, schedule a lesson, and play some rhythm changes.
sounds good to me.
All right, thanks.